Hi everyone, welcome back to our Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about something super important if you are getting started with cloud computing, and that is Azure Virtual Machine, or just VMs in short. Now that it already sounds complicated, right? But don't worry. I promise by the end of this video, like or any other videos, you will have a clear picture of what we are talking about, and on top of that you will find what a virtual machine is and why it is useful and how it fits into the Microsoft Azure ecosystem. So shall we go into the video? Okay, so let's get into it. So what even is a virtual machine? What is a virtual machine? How does we term, how do we coin the word virtual machine? Okay, so let's start from the basics. So imagine your computer or your laptop. It has a physical body, right? It has a hard drive, it has a RAM, it has a CPU. We always talk about the CPU and we always talk about the RAM size, right? So the same way, how a laptop has a hard drive, RAM, CPU, a virtual machine is also the same way. So it's like a computer, but it inside another computer. So it runs an operating system, it can have files, it can have apps, and it can even crash just like a regular machine. But the key difference is it's not physically real. It runs on top of another computer using its resources. Take for example, you might have watched Netflix and you are watching a movie. But the actual video is not sitting on your TV, right? So it's streaming from a server somewhere. So the same way, a virtual machine works the same way. It's a computer, but it lives inside another computer, usually in the cloud. So what does Azure have to do with this? Why do we need to even bother about this? What is actually a virtual machine is all about? So Microsoft Azure, we all know, it's a very famous cloud platform, and it lets you to create, to run, and even to manage these virtual machines in the cloud. So instead of buying a very big expensive computer and worrying about the electricity, the space, the hardware upgrade, all you're going to do is just go to Azure, click few buttons, and boom, you have got a full blown Windows or a Linux machine up and running in the cloud in minutes for you, right? So you can run any operating system. If, say for example, if you have got a machine for you on your own for your home, and if it is working on Windows, so you have to have another machine on Linux, right? So the same way, but in fact you have to spend another set of money if you want a Linux machine. But in cloud you don't need to bother about that. If you want to use a Windows machine, you can use it, and if you want to use a Linux machine, you can just delete your Windows virtual machine, and then you can buy another Linux machine and you can start working on that. And the best part is you only pay for what you use. So whether it's few minutes or whether it's a few hours or even for days, you're just going to pay only for what you use. So after you completed your usage, you can just delete them and you don't need to pay anymore, right? That's not the case with the machines that we have in our home, right? So we have invested it, we have to use it all the time. So why we have to use a virtual machine? Let's say you want to run an app 24/7 without keeping your laptop on all night, or you want to test a software on different operating systems, right? So for example, you want to test it in Windows, you want to test it in Linux. So in all those scenarios, and if you want to host a website or if you want to host a game server, so these are the ideal scenarios where you have to look for a VM. And even if you want to build a scalable backend for a mobile application, so these are some scenarios, right? So for doing all of these, you might need a virtual machine, or a virtual machine is the right choice. And a virtual machine in Azure can do all of that and even much more, I will say. What I've just told you is just I've scratched the surface, but there are much more to be discussed. And it's flexible, it's fast, and in fact it's fully customizable. So what do you need to get started? Honestly, you just need a Microsoft account and an internet connection, just these two, If you ask me, yes, just these two, just a Microsoft account and an internet connection. Azure gives you even free credits when you sign up. They give you around $200 of free credit, so you can try out virtual machines without even spending a dime. You can create a VM, you can create a VM scale set, you can create a resource group, you can create a VNet, a subnet, all these things. So you can choose things like what operating system you want. So when I say what operating system, you can choose starting from Windows 19 to 22, Windows Server, Windows 11, anything. Say for example Linux, all the versions of Linux, Unix, anything you can choose, and how powerful the machine should be. You can choose the CPU size, you can choose the RAM size, you can even choose the hard disk size, you can choose the SSD or HDD, and where in the world your VM should run, which part of the world you should run. So because Azure is hosted everywhere around the world, so if you want, you can choose US, UK, Europe, India, wherever you want. And once you hit the create button, Azure handles all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. So I think I have fed up. I feed you a lot of knowledge today in the very first day of talking about Azure virtual machines. So just to give you a quick recap, a virtual machine is like a computer. Yes, it's like an actual computer, but it's inside the cloud. And in fact, Azure lets you create and manage those VMs very easily, right? It's so easy, I will say. You can even create it in just a few seconds if you have Terraform code, if you have Azure ARM code. It's very easy for you to create, and even its managing is very easy. You can use them for testing, for hosting, for development, and even for tons of real world tasks. And you only pay for what you use, no hardware is needed. Even you're not going to have anything in your home, at least all you're going to just need is just a Microsoft account and a reliable internet. That's it. So what's next? In the next video, I will show you how to actually create your first Azure virtual machine step by step. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss my next video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.